So what next for him? He says for the moment he just wants to read and work on his winter garden at home, which is where I joined him for his last television interview as Chief Minister.
Here's your cup of tea. You can have it in the
Will and Kate
mug.
It's actually, I feel almost disloyal to republicanism drinking out of this. But
Your love of the physical environment of Canberra is well established. Do you have the same fondness for the people?
Oh, I do. I think Canberra's a great community. At times quirky and difficult, and at times aspects of the community that I don't understand. And I have dwelt on this a little bit. This concern that amongst some of us, and I don't know how many of us, that the city's tatty, that it's never looked worse, that it's a disgrace. And I look at it and I think, I can't believe how beautiful this place is.
When you came to Canberra, you were a small town country boy. How did you grow to love this place?
Yeah, I came here when I was 17 to go to the ANU, and I have to say when I came to do a law degree, and I'd already determined that I was going back to Merimbula, and I was going to hang up a shingle there. I came to do a degree, planned to go back, met Robin, got married, had children, established a career, built a house, and the rest is history. And since then have never thought or imagined that I would ever leave.
We're still here. And
yes, we met 42 years ago too. I should say this.
Oh no, don't.
42 years ago this month. And as I've said, only half jokingly, such is my love and commitment to the city that Robin and I have already bought our cemetery plots at Hall in the electorate, such as our commitment to Belconnen and
forward thinking.
Yes, but really a reflection of the decision that we've taken, that this is home and will always be home.
Are you temperamentally suited to a life in the public eye as a politician? Has that been difficult to adapt to?
I've long accepted, in fact I've accepted all my life, that I'm essentially introverted. I'm not naturally gregarious. I'm by nature a solitary soul. And aspects of public life and of being a politician or a leader in politics, of course, don't come naturally to people with my personality.
In a small town like Canberra, a relatively small city, you can run into your most vehement critic at the supermarket or a cafe. Has that been difficult to accept as the Chief Minister over the years?
I've found over my time, even where there's been great controversy, and I often say this, that most people are very polite, very considerate. Even when I go out for a coffee or when Robin and I go out, we're very rarely interrupted. People very rarely sort of represent to me. People do, but always politely, always considerately, and I have over time, come to deal with the issues around controversy and opposition and sort of some of the vehemence, the personal sort of expression of objection or disagreement. And I think all we politicians develop mechanisms for dealing with that, and it's not been an issue for me.
You have taken that political criticism quite personally over the years. Is that something that you have struggled with? Are you the suggestion that you are a little glass-jawed?
Well, I don't accept that. I'm not somebody that is sort of frail or concerned. I'm not egotistical. I'm not arrogant. I've had all these labels applied, and I've also, it's been alleged that I can't handle criticism, that I have a glass jaw. I think every politician that's served, that's been a minister or a leader, will say the same about the great difficulty in politics are those attacks that attack one's person, one's inner self, one's core, and that's achieved through attacks on our integrity, on our honesty, and on our belief systems. And we do develop mechanisms. I know I now have a great capacity to deflect those sorts of attacks. Without those defensive mechanisms, we would be crushed.
Could you describe what it's like for your family to have you as public property? How has Robin felt about sharing you with Canberra for the past decade?
Politics can be very hard, at times brutal, in the way in which we conduct politics in Australia. It's a fierce business at times, a fierce contest and fiercely conducted. And it's impossible for families, most particularly our partners and our children, not to be affected by just the nature of the conversation, most particularly the constant criticism. And I know Robin has found it very hard, as have my children. Some of the deep personal attacks on me have been very hard. And that will be the case for the families of all politicians. It's a significant issue.
A lot of it's been great, but there's been a lot of really difficult times that I've also struggled with, and I think our daughter would probably have struggled a lot with too. The boys possibly less so, different personalities, got more Stanhope gene in them than she has. But yeah, it is hard at times.
What about the 2003 bushfires? Is that something that will continue to haunt you in terms of both your role and the political fallout?
I have absolutely no issues that I need to deal with personally in relation to my behaviour, my leadership and my role. I do believe the whole issue has been seriously distorted through the desire by many, of course, for information and for understanding, but for many, the need to find or to attribute blame. I understand it, but I do believe that the anger that was felt, the distress, the anger was misplaced and misdirected, and as it often is.
What about legacies? What legacy do you think you will leave to Canberra? How would you be remembered?
I'm proud of the city. I'm proud of the way in which we've progressed socially and economically. I can't recall a single incident where I compromised my principles, that I didn't say something that I would have said because I thought it wasn't politically palatable or popular.
He's quite driven, and it was something he set out to achieve at one point, and I'm glad he did, and I'm very proud of what he has done. That
I stuck to my guns on issues that are fundamentally important to me around human rights and discrimination, equality and democracy. I will be around. I'll be under your feet. You'll be tired of me. You'll be looking for a couple of extra days bridge, I reckon, every week just to get away. You
leave public life rather abruptly this week. Will it take some getting used to being John Stanhope citizen instead of John Stanhope Chief Minister? I'm aware of what I'm walking away from, and it's significant. I'm walking away from a good salary. I'm walking away from a lovely office. I'm walking away from staff. I'm walking away from the capacity to be influential. Indeed, I'm walking away from the capacity to exercise power. And these are hard things to give up, all of them. Well, how do you give up that power virtually overnight and go from being the Chief Minister to someone who grows tomatoes? I have to say, I haven't got the shakes. I'm not lying awake at night. Indeed, at this stage, I'm anticipating next week. I'm looking forward to the first day that I wake up and think I've got nothing to do today. Yes, it's looking a bit neglected. It's suffering from politics too, this garden. But I'm very happy with it. What do you do now? Is it a time for reflection? Are there books on the coffee table waiting to be read? I'll stay active. I'll look to establish another career, and I think at this stage, as I walk away from being Chief Minister for 10 years, I do it knowing or expecting that I'll establish another career that will keep me engaged. But I'm looking forward to repairing some relationships and friendships that I've been very negligent about. I look forward to doing more gardening and growing more vegetables. I really would like to convert most of this lawn into veggies. I have to say, I think when I reflect on my relaxations, the things that make me relax that I love to do and that I haven't done nearly enough of, the two are gardening and reading. I love pottering around in the garden. Now that perhaps it doesn't matter and you can afford to be undiplomatic, is there anything you'd like to say to some of your critics over the years? I have no issues with anybody. I have no scores to settle. I'll always be honest in my responses to anybody, but I have no issues that I wish to re-agitate. I have no battles that I wish to refight. I have no outcomes that I wish to have recontested. I'm at peace, and I'll try and find a job, just so I'm not reduced to writing letters to the editor and ringing Chief Minister's talk back and Ross Solly with wise comments.
Yeah.